Hey guys, Deb here with Art and Grace. So we're going to do a cute little painting. Now this is on a wood heart. And so we're making this a little bit Valentine's-y. And then we're going to put some glass and resin on. So if you want to learn how to paint this super easy painting, then this is a place to be. I love teaching colorful art that is kind of whimsical and fun. You can put this on a card, on something like this, a wood substrate or canvas or whatever you want to do. Let's get started. So I have already sanded this little wood heart down, and now it is ready to put sealer. If you are not using sealer, and I forgot to turn my camera thing around. This is just DecoArt multi-purpose sealer. If you're not sealing your wood, you will see the difference and really start doing it. It will make your paint glide on so much smoother and nicer. And if you're going to do resin like I do, then it will seal that wood so that the resin doesn't either seep down into it or release bubbles. The releasing bubbles is what I don't want. So always use a wood sealer if you're going to do resin. You'll be much happier with your outcome. And it's just something I never skip. So I have had such better outcomes since I started doing this. I used to not at first because I heard other people say you didn't have to. And, I tried it just because I have so much of this. I always keep it on hand. And I was like, no, this is actually better. I'm not seeing those as many small bubbles and all that. You can pop them. But there's things called micro bubbles that pop up that your eye can't really see. They're really tiny. Okay, I'm going to use a number 12 flat brush. Flat just means it's flat across the top. Okay, a little bit of blue. We don't need a lot. This is vivid blue. It'll really take over because it is so bright. We're going to get out a little Bahama blue and a little bit of pink. You can tell that these are my colors, right, by my palette. Okay, so taking that flat brush, we're going to get a lot of white. Can y'all see? On event days, I like to try to have it like this so that I feel like I can see y'all and I'm talking to you and you can see me and yet you can still see this. But typically, I like my camera looking down so that you can really see what I'm doing. But, probably nobody's painting along. Let me know if you are. We're going to start by just putting on some white paint. Any type of brush strokes you want to do. So this is just back and forth, or you can do X motions. Right now you don't really need to because we're just getting on some white for our background all the way across. I'm going to do half at a time here. So I'm going to get this down. Oh, by the way, if you're in the VIP group, let me know. And I have good news. The tracer and supply list for this are already in there for you. So if you want to paint along quickly, just go grab few supplies, and you only need a couple of brushes and you can paint on mixed media, watercolor paper, canvas, wood, whatever you want. Now I'm going to dip a corner into that aqua. This is Bahama blue, one of my favorites. We're going to put a little bit of that, put a little bit of that, put a little bit. I'm grabbing a little bit of that dark blue. I'm going to probably wipe some off because it really comes in fast or, heavy. It will take over if I'm not careful. Grab a little bit of the pink. I'm talking little bits on the brush. Hope y'all can see that. Welcome, Trisha. Glad to have you today. I know there's lots going on, so I really, truly am really grateful when y'all hang out with me. It makes my day. Or even just pop in and out, because I know, some of y'all tell me you can watch several people at once. I can't do that. I already have an issue with like, I don't know. It's some kind of nerve issue where I just get like overwhelmed. So I don't watch a lot of lives, but I'm so glad that you guys do. Okay, so that's what we have so far. Kind of a pretty little background. You'll see where we're going. I am going to paint the sides white. So let's just go around. We've got our sky started. We're going to work on our ground, and I want this to be white and blue. So no pinks in our ground. So y'all are seeing how easy. That's one of the things that I really try to specialize in is showing how easy it is to paint whimsical, fun designs for relaxation. So I started painting because my mom had Alzheimer's, and it was the most stressful time of my entire life. So I started doing it in a journal just to kind of de-stress, and it changed my life. I know that sounds dramatic, but I'm not kidding. It really, truly did. And God just used it in a way. I would pray and paint, and, you know, mostly just more mixed media kind of things. And he just used it to kind of calm me down, to show me things he wanted me to do. One day, you know, I was praying about patience, and he said, you know, I felt like he was telling me, look at her the way I look at her. She's a beautiful child. She's my child. And I kid you not, from that day on, I never had a problem with patience. And you can ask my family. It was just like he opened my eyes. And so the combination of painting and praying, I get teary because I want, you know, you guys, some of you guys to experience that too. It was just life-changing. So, you know, if you're going through anything, which we all do, the crafting community, art and crafts of any type, is an amazing respite. You know, it really is important to take some time for yourself. You can be such a better mom, grandmother, caregiver, friend, spouse, whatever, if you are filled up. Okay, just add a few swipes now that this is drying. If you let it dry and then add some, you can kind of really be intentional about where you put things. You can make it a little darker if you want to. Just last night, I'm still very active and an advocate for Alzheimer's. So if any of you want to join me this year, I put on an Alzheimer's awareness fundraiser in partnership with the Alzheimer's Association. This will be, I believe, my 5th year. I think fifth or sixth. I lose track. But anyway, would love to have you be a part. There's so many ways you can be a part: sharing the event, or actually getting on my team and sharing it on your page so you can raise money with us. Sometimes you can sell things that you make, and, you know, or you can go live with us or do an auction with us. There's lots of ways to be a part. So you can go to my website for anything you need, artgracepaint.com. Anything that you hear me talk about or do today, you'll probably find there. I've got freebies. I've got the Alzheimer's, how you can sign up to be a part. I've just got everything on there. Try to make it really easy, one location. Okay, I had to add a little bit. I was watching a guy last night talk about his wife who was diagnosed with Alzheimer's at like 45. If anybody wants the channel, it's got a lot of interesting content. You can watch his progression from finding out until she passed. You know, I got tears in my eyes many times because I was like, what he's describing, I went through. You know, we go through it. And so you find a lot of comfort in knowing you're not alone, and in knowing that this is normal. They get combative at the end many times, and, you know, they refuse to take their meds, or they refuse to get a shower, or whatever. And so when you hear people talk about it, you realize, oh, I'm not alone. And that's the whole reason that I wanted to really be a part of the Alzheimer's Association and their fundraising and things, because, gosh, it's so important to have that resource and that information and know you're not alone. Okay, we got our little design on there. So we've got our palette. Let me grab a brush. I'm just going to grab, this is a number 2 angle brush, and just start painting our little guys. I think penguins are so cute and whimsical, and you know, you could make a Valentine for your kids or grandkids doing something like this. Just do it on a card or blank card, mixed media, whatever you got. So we got the bellies. Let's get out a little black. I'm taking black and white on my brush at the same time. Painting small is a little harder. So if you blow it up, you know, take a tracer or something and blow it up, make it bigger, it's much easier. And you just really, if you're using a tracer that I give, and I give these a lot. So sign up for my email because I do send them in there sometimes. But like if you're using a tracer, obviously the bigger it is, it's going to be easier to paint, and you're just coloring inside. I'll show you in a minute how to add your highlights and shading. And that's all there is to it. So, you know, don't let it intimidate you. You can do it. You just have to practice a little, and also find some easier designs, and I can help you. If you want to message me and say, hey, do you have something I can try? I'll refer you to one of my tutorials that is super beginner friendly. I'm just mixing a little bit of pink and yellow. I'm going to grab a little white too to lighten it up just a touch. And yellow is very opaque, so that will also help with coverage. And do his little feet. Let's quickly do hats. See how we're just filling it in, so there's no secret. It's not hard. Right now, it's just filling it in. Let that dry a little bit. We're going to do Oh, you were Mary Jo. Mary Jo now is selling her art. So don't you dare say you can't do it. You can. You can learn to paint and then go on and even teach others or sell your art. And I really love helping women do that because, you know, it's changed my life, and really, you know, the community that you find and the joy that you find in it, the relief from all of the stress of the world. Oh my goodness, we all need that, right? Now, I'm taking my pink, I'm dipping down into my white. Let me see if I can get enough that you can see that on the brush. See, just a little pink and white, and we are going to give some highlights to that hat. And that's all I did, just brush it on top of what I had. Now with this one, I'm going to put out a little of our bluegrass green. We're going to give some little green highlights, or, you know, color along with a little white. Just put that in there. And there's that. Give it a little interest. There's our little diamond shaped beak. We're going to give some pink cheeks. So pink and white is what I'm doing. You can take red and white if you don't have a pink. I'm just going to lighten up the pink that I've got on here and give a couple of little cheeks, rosy cheeks. I'm going to turn this toward me so I can do these eyes here. It's too hard to go backwards. But that's the easiest eyes, to just do little lines. That'll be the easiest eyes you can do. I'm going to take yellow and white on my brush and do this scarf. Now hang on, don't leave until I show you how I kind of incorporate some colors into the penguins too. I don't want them to be just black and white. I love color. Color makes me happy. Oh, that's his arm. That's his arm right here. His arm's around her. Let's see. What did I do? Oh, no, that's the scarf. That's the scarf. Here's his arm here, but then that is the scarf there. I put black where I shouldn't. If you let the black dry, you can cover it up with white. I'm just kind of Trying to put it on top. Okay, we'll let those dry and do more. But while their bellies are dry, I'm going to go ahead and show you how I add a little oomph to them, you know. I'm going to dip into this pink with my same brush I've been using, but I'm going to wipe some off so I don't have a lot. And I'm just going to start scraping in some color. We're going to put just a touch over here, not much. Clean that off. I'm going to grab a little yellow, and I've tapped it off so there's not much on my brush, and just tap that there. And for the little boy, I'm going to grab a little aqua, tap some off, and add that there. I need to go ahead and paint the scarf. This is the other scarf covering part of that one's arm. There. So see how that adds a little fun and whimsy to it. Then for the sled, of course, we're going to do that in pink. Y'all should know, if you watch me, pink's my color, and I always tell my ladies, you can paint it any colors you want. I've got pink and white on my brush at the same time. I'm just going to come around and give them a cute pink sled. Now to make our sled, you know, have a little dimension, I'm going to put out a little bit of this Poetic Plum, and I'll show you how we're going to use that in just a second. I should probably switch to my detail brush at this point, which you would want to do. Let's just switch before I make a big mess. You know, these little tiny areas, you need a tiny brush. These are my favorite detail brushes. They have just a good variety in them. Don't leave your brushes in water. I know we all do it. I do it. But don't do it, because it really ruins your brushes. And who wants to just keep having to buy them, you know? That's the worst thing you can do for your brushes. So I know, preaching to the choir here, because I do it. But I try hard not to, because I feel like, you know, I'm wasting money. I don't want to waste money. None of us have just money to burn, do we? So I try hard to go wash them out after I'm done for the day and lay them flat to dry. Use some Murphy's oil, soap oil, whatever it's called, you know, when you need to. Now, like I said, I want to add a little of that Poetic Plum, so I'm going to come along the bottoms of each of these things with my detail brush and that plum. My fingers and things. Now we're going to take some white, add some of white up here. Whimsical paintings are the easiest, probably, you know, for you to learn how to do, because they're very forgiving, you know. Abstract would be probably the easiest, but then Whimsical is next. I used to teach paint parties, and everybody loved Whimsical. That was, you know, that's the way to go there. And you know, you can eat and drink and chat while you're painting, and you still wind up with a cute painting. So I really love the Whimsical designs. And then let's put in some little white highlights here. We'll put in a few here. On the little scarf, if you'll just do mark, 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 mark. See, just a mark and then another mark. That is making your heart. Mark, mark. So just remember that. Mark, mark. There's your little hearts on your scarf. Now, a few other touches I like to do is take the colors that are in our painting. So we've got all those pretty colors, and put a few throughout. So just little bits of like our aqua, you know, you're just brushing in here and there. Now, little bits of yellow. But see how that just makes the painting really cohesive to add those little color bits here and there. And then for this one's scarf, I would do, you know, some stripes. And then I would also do some white. So basically, that's your little painting on your cute guys. Oh, and I do want to go back and add a little more blue down here where the snow is. So I'm going to take that blue, little white, and make some. They're speeding down the hill. So something like that. Okay. So let's set that aside. Take the one that I did last night. I use art resin. I highly recommend that you do research before you use any resin and know the dangers of resin, because many resins will tell you they're safe, but they're truly not. So I don't have the time to go into it, but go to, here's where you can start. Art Resin website. It's just all one word, artresin.com, and do the research and see what they say. I went down the whole research rabbit hole and watched so many videos, and so I would plug in, I can't move fast enough here. I'd plug in lawsuits against blank brand, and I did that. I spent 2 days doing that, and just that's how you uncover information. You can't just trust what you read. It's not, we know that. You can't just trust what you read. So I'm going to do 1 ounce, and of course, if I need more, I can always add. Okay, so this is a 1-to-1 ratio. If you're using half an ounce of one, you're going to use half an ounce of the other, which is what I'm doing. Get it right to the line. You'll have a much better outcome if you measure exact. And art resin goes by volume, not by weight. So I'm getting it right to the line. And this is our hardener. I'm going to now put in some resin, and we'll mix the two. You mix for 3 solid minutes. Now's the time to chat with me. I'll watch the comments as I'm stirring. Okay. you always want to wear gloves to protect your hands and your skin, because it is, I'm going to pour this into a larger cup just because it's so full that it would be hard not to go out of the cup. So this has no VOCs, BPAs, or COVs. There is really no odor. I have lots of people who have allergies and very sensitive to strong smells. And I get a headache with most colognes and things that I smell, but I never do with this. If you are super sensitive, I recommend opening a window, or you can wear a respirator if you want to, if you're just super sensitive. Lungs, we need our lungs. And so don't chinch. Don't risk it until you've done your research, please. I don't get a thing, y'all. I'm not an affiliate for Art Resin. I would love to be, because I believe in their company. I'm not. I don't get anything for saying that. And I don't even want you to trust me if you don't know me. Do your research so that you feel comfortable. And just follow the guidelines. They recommend we wear gloves and have good ventilation, but I always have a little, what's the machine called, you guys, that takes the smells out of the air and it takes dust out of the air? I can't think of the name of it, but anyway, got that going. I always have a fan going because I'm always hot. I'm mixing slow. You don't want to whip it like you're baking. This is going to get a million bubbles if I do that. So just go slow. So it's been 3 minutes. And with art resin, that's really the only, if you've done it 3 minutes, it's looking clear, then you're good. I have lots of information on other tutorials that I talk about more about resin, but for now, I just don't have the time to explain all about resin. But it's really fun to use, and you can do so much with your designs. I'm going to take this and pour. Okay, first of all, I do always take something clean, a clean dry brush, and make sure no dust has landed on my painting. And your paint does need to be 100% dry. So you can't have any wet paint. And look at the colors come to life. Can you see that? It really just really brightens colors, makes them pop. And you can stop right here and just have the resin on top for a really nice glassy finish. But I go on and put glass and beads and all kind of embellishments. Around fall, I was putting pine cones and all kind of things. And I hand cut glass all the time and add petals to flowers and, all of that. So if you're interested in learning that, hang around, be sure to follow me, because this is what I do, and I love to do it, and I love to teach it. And it's not hard. That's the thing. It's just watching the tutorials. You'll gain your confidence, and you can do this. It's easy. Okay, I'm going to turn this on quick and pop our bubbles. This is just like a creme brulee kitchen torch. It's very safe. I've got a tutorial on how to fill it with your butane on my YouTube channel. Just keep it moving. I'm popping the bubbles. And then add whatever glass you want. I'm going to add some of this crushed glass that I love because it's so pretty. It's got iridescent. So I am covering some of our painting, but look how cute. This kind of represents our snow. I love it. Love this stuff. And if you're in the VIP group, you know that I give a supply list for all my creations, everything. And you can buy the stuff and make it yourself, or I will sell them a kit. If they want what I'm making, I'll make a kit for them and send it to them, because I love getting them to try it. You just fall in love with the process and the creative, you can get really creative. And then I do have snowflakes I thought would be cute to add. I'm going to add them and see. Y'all let me know if you like them. And I had some small ones, but I didn't love the small ones. So that's it. Thank you guys for being here. Bye-bye.